Welcome, ladies and gents. We've got the big news. The 11th team has been agreed with Formula One, the commercial rights holders of F1. The FIA were already in agreement with this, as we've seen, but it's not with who we thought it would be. No, it's not Andretti Racing, it's GM Cadillac. It's a bit of a change. We've got the Andretti Cadillac rejection back in January of this year. We then had Andretti Global go to Michael Andretti, the big one actually, going to the US Congress and the anti-competition investigation into F1, who are also a US company. There was sort of some conclusions to be drawn on that soon. We then just got silenced, didn't we? But Andretti Global continued and pressed ahead with their plans. They opened a Silverstone base earlier this year. They've signed Pat Fry up into that team. So full steam ahead. And Michael Andretti was like at that time also saying, look, if they understand the seriousness and how big GM are into this, F1 have got nothing but to say no. And well, they didn't say no, but they did say no. You bear with me, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because effectively they've said yes to GM Cadillac, no to Andretti. Formula One have not mentioned Andretti in any of their PR releases. And I think there's been some changes in the deal as well of why Formula One have changed their mind. But really, a lot's gone on the Andretti side, which them sort of taking a bit of a backseat has kind of helped the deal being pushed through. And it's all really about the Benjamins, isn't it? A $450 million anti-dilution fee has been pumped in by GM Cadillac. It'll be handed out to all the teams. We've heard straight off the back Toto Wolff and Helmut Marko saying that's really not quite enough, to be honest. We've invested hundreds of millions into Formula One over the last 10 years to bring it where it is, and this is, well, just a drop in the ocean. The fact is, it's still a significant sum of money, and if we're looking back at and them to recompensate what they've done over the 10 years, and they've also gained over them 10 years of themselves as teams, you know, the teams each individually have gone from being valued at 400 million to 1 point something odd billion. I mean, Ferrari valued now at 3.3 billion. Mercedes just short of that, so they've also seen growth in value in their team. And if we were to just go back and say, oh look, we've invested £1 billion over 10 years, £1 billion anti-dilution fee is effectively pushing almost everybody away from joining the F1 grid, and that's not really what Formula One needs. I think this is massive news. It's fantastic to see a US team, a full US team, an OEM, original manufacturing, GM, joining Formula One from stateside. It's the first time we've had a big manufacturer come in and join F1 from the States. I know we've got Haas F1, but they're machinery based as a main, aren't they? Not automotive car manufacturers as a whole, like GM are. They are absolutely massive in F1, and we've now got, with Ford joining Red Bull, we've got a real US charge in F1, and we've got the sort of the US kind of a little bit against the Europeans, isn't it? In some way, we've got, you know, Ford, we've got Haas, we've got GM now, which will be absolutely brilliant for the sport in 2026. The intense Americanization of F1 continues. It's a big market. They've been meaning to crack it for absolute age, and they've finally seemed to have managed to do that now, isn't it? This seems like the little bit of the icing on the cake. It's been culminating over a couple of years now. We've got the 3 US Grand Prix. We've now got 3 F1 teams. We're soon to see, obviously, more US F1 drivers. We had Logan Sargent before that. We've had a couple of US F1 drivers before as well, but few and far between. But these guys have promised to get at least one US driver in that team. But yes, back to the deal. How do we get there? Why has it happened now? And well, really, it's been a lot of changes, especially on the Andretti side, Andretti Global. We've had Dan Trowski, or Tauris, who's joined and taken over Andretti Global. Michael Andretti who was the sort of the main man that was rubbing up everyone's noses in F1. I remember one weekend he went around with a paper to all the teams to sign him and say, look, let us join in. That just doesn't go down well. I said it at the time. that sort of business, when you're trying to, you know, get into Formula One, being the big, hard, brash man is not going to give you any favours. And well, they've now changed tack and it's gone absolutely the right way. But the deal has also changed significantly. It's not just Andretti taking a back seat and it's a bit of pettiness on that side. The deal is significantly different to what Andretti posed, because Andretti, it was Andretti Cadillac, and then we were going to see potentially a GM engine at some point. There was no real concrete element of GM joining F1 at that stage. We've now seen that it's now a GM run team. It'll be a full GM works team from 2028 when GM will bring their own engine, and so we will still see these guys needing an engine for a couple of years until that takes place. But yeah, we've seen Michael Andretti step back. We see Dan Tauris take over CEO of TWG Global, who F1 mentioned in the press release. They are the co-owners of Andretti Global, so new personnel has helped. Like I said, GM coming to the table now, and that's F1 said this in their rejection of Andretti Global in January. They said, well, if GM come to the table, that's a very different ball game. And F1 effectively have got what they wanted, haven't they, all along? They've got GM in, they've got a new engine manufacturer, an OEM, and that is the big deal for Formula One. And we're seeing a lot of that. They'll need a power unit from 26 up into 28 at least. Likely that is to be Ferrari or Honda. Ferrari sort of just said, let's see the deal come through, and we'll say what our position is on that. Michael Andretti, or Mario Andretti, has got a seat on the board of GM F1. So still very much involved in this deal, Andretti. Make no doubts about that. They've not disappeared. The global or the base in the US that Andretti have built will be used as a hub for GM Cadillac. So although they're not there by name, they are there in surely by nature. It's just a massive PR exercise by F1 to sort of all keep a little bit of face, isn't it, here, F1? But yeah, GM, Andretti, 100% still well in this deal. Like I said, they're going to be using their Silverstone base for the F1 car. I just don't think we'll see Michael Andretti involved. He's not involved in the day-to-day. Mario Andretti is on the director's board, although not involved in the day-to-day running of Andretti Global on that side. But I think they got what they wanted. It was it for their vision and push. GM and Cadillac wouldn't be in this position that they are in now, and neither was Formula One. And the Formula One, as much as they didn't want this, they absolutely do need this. Intense Americanization of F1 has been going on for some time, and this is the big deal, isn't it? This is what they were really after, a full American car outfit joining the grid. I mean, we had the big deal with Ford. Red Bull, it's effectively just a Red Bull badge with a Ford, though still, so not the full American involvement in F1 that we're now going to see with GM Cadillac. But yeah, exciting. How competitive will they be? Well, Pat Simmons signed in May of this year. He's a highly respected technical director. He was FIA director as well, so he'll know a lot of tricks in the book. He's on gardening leave immediately from May. He'll be starting up in there early next year. We then will see them join in with Ferrari, Honda, who could have a fantastic engine for 26. It's all about engine power units, isn't it? Or tipped to be that way for 26. And so they could really be fighting, well, not at the front. I don't think that's a bit of a far push, because just to build a car, I know Andretti have been doing and working on F1 from at least as early as late last year, early this year, definitely. They've got the factory up and running. They've got a wind tunnel that was started earlier in the year. So they've been full steam ahead on this F1 car. So they've still got 2 years of R&D and development, which would really help them out and potentially move them forward. The Ferrari engine, like Mario Andretti has said, is their option. Could be a fantastic engine in 26. Who knows? And it's really also really difficult to say how competitive they will be. We've got, Audi joining, and I think they'll be in a similar boat to them. It'll be difficult. Formula One is intense. It's a massive engineering competition, and so if they can get everything right and just hit the numbers on the head, they could be right up there at the front. I don't expect that to happen, but there's also always that possibility when there's new rules and regulations, like we've seen with this one, where Red Bull gripped it by the horns and they absolutely ran away with it. 1, 2, 3 championships on the bounce. We're now seeing a tightening up of that, and I expect something similar to happen in 26. Which is a bit of a shame because next year looks set to be probably one of F1's best championships, isn't it? This one has been absolutely fantastic. But for the 4 races of Red Bull running away with it, we'd have a fantastic championship battle on our hands this season. So all to play for. It's a brand new team. It's a new team principal, new drivers. Colton Hertha potentially still the man that they want. Andretti has sort of let that out. They've made no secret about that, have they? They've been the man that Andretti wanted all along. Will they get that way? Will that change slightly now that it's now GM Cadillac? Who knows? But I mean, this is great for F1 fans. Fantastic that we've now finally got this 11th team. 22 drivers. The driver pool we've seen of talent has been absolutely brilliant. We've got some massive stars without seats going into next year. So with another team coming in, there's another extra 2 seats. It should be more action. Will we see a change in the way the points regulations work? We've seen that categorically say no, didn't they, this time around? I did kind of see the expectation that they might move the points from beyond 10th place to at least 12th. May they reconsider this now for 26? Who knows? It doesn't look likely yet, but always possible. I think they might see how the first year of 26 goes. If there's, the consistency in terms of the reliability, all teams finishing, and we've got 12 cars effectively out of the points, we can then potentially see them move the points positions up into 12th, but who knows? It's all sort of hearsay on all that at the moment, nothing concrete, but there's potential for that to change. But it should be absolutely brilliant to see another new F1 team. I'm so excited for 26. We've got 2 big OEMs joining, Audi and now GM Cadillac. It should be brilliant. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. See you next time.